Look, Commanders fans, a common theme that we're going to see throughout the 2025 offseason is the Washington Commanders being linked to a lot of these star free agents and star players that are on the trade block, because we're just that team that's on the rise and that is a couple pieces away from winning a Lombardi. That being said, the Washington Commanders being tied to a lot of these potential free agents and guys on the trade block just makes sense. Myles Garrett is a favorite to be here in Washington, and Cooper Kupp. Let's talk about it. What's good, y'all? It's your man Juan Gotti here. Before we get into today's video, I want to ask you guys do me a favor and subscribe to my fitness channel. I'm documenting my fitness journey from fat to muscular, so please follow me on that page, link down below in the description.
The way that we live is not for everybody. We're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty long.
You know what time it is. It's time to come out.
I love the way she move it, shake it on me.
YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We got another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders being linked to trading for wide receiver Cooper Kupp from the LA Rams, and seeing if that just makes sense for us to do, considering the fact that we're a top destination for a lot of these trade and free agent targets. Before we get into today's video, I want you guys to do me a favor. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new videos like this to the channel. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers. I'd greatly appreciate if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Let's get straight to today's video. So the Washington Commanders being good again has the whole entire NFL world excited, because this is one of the staple franchises of the whole entire league, and with them being good, you want to see star players playing in DC, in the DMV area, as we're one of the main markets of the country. So Washington being tied to a lot of these guys are not a surprise. Again, guys, I want to prepare you for what we're embarking on now. I know it may sound crazy, like we're tied to Myles Garrett, we're tied to Cooper Kupp, we're tied to potentially Trey Hendrickson as well, and all these other like guys out there, and it just sounds like, how the heck are we going to be able to get all these guys? But I'm telling you, man, if there's a way, there's a way.
What? About some higher education, you're a dummy.
Or however you say that, if there's a will, there's a way. Whatever that saying is, you get what I'm trying to say. Like, Washington has an opportunity to get their hands on multiple star players. Don't be surprised if it get finalized. It wouldn't surprise me if Washington went out and traded for Myles Garrett and traded for Cooper Kupp and signed this player in free agency and signed that player in free agency. We're pushing all the chips forward, and you're probably looking at our salary cap like, yeah, we got the third most salary cap, but how are we going to afford all these guys? Trust and believe. If teams in the past did it, I'm sure we can. Now, obviously, we're not going to sign every single free agent or trade for every single star player, but a guy like Cooper Kupp being linked to Washington should not be a surprise. However, do you want Cooper Kupp here in Washington? That's the question that still remains to be answered. I'm about to give you mine. Me personally, I don't want Cooper Kupp here in Washington. And that's no disrespect to Cooper Kupp, but I just personally think there are better options out there if we decide to go the veteran route with addressing the wide receiver room this offseason. Cooper Kupp is 31 and he's trending downwards in his career. Did you guys know Cooper Kupp only had 2 1,000-yard seasons, and one of them was that Triple Crown year back in 2021, which he was just insane that year. Everyone remember that he was basically the best wide receiver, best offensive player of that season. However, outside of that season, he just has one other 1,000-yard year. And the stats isn't the biggest reason why I don't want Cooper Kupp here. Cooper Kupp is 31 years old. His game is trending downwards, so as his productivity is not what it used to be, or really for that sake of matter, it wasn't what it was in 2021. And also the trajectory of his availability too has went down since the season in which he had the Triple Crown year. He played in all 17 games that year. In 2022, he only played in 9 games. In 2023, he played in 12 games. And in 2024, he played in 12 games again. And you already know your best ability is availability. How can you be out there to contribute to your team if you're always banged up? So along with your production decreasing, your age is getting higher. You don't have a game that translates well with age. You don't play in all of the games. You're missing quite a bit of games throughout a season. You have to be traded for, let let me add that, make that the biggest point. You have to trade for Cooper Kupp. I just don't see it being a smart priority or a smart move to make if I'm Washington. Now, if he was coming off of back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, of course, maybe you didn't make that trade. But again, he's older and he hasn't had 1,000 yards since that 2021 season. And that kind of just scares me. It's like, what the heck happened to Cooper Kupp? I mean, since they got Puka Nacua, we know that he's been the vocal point of that offense. But outside of that, it's like, dude, Cooper Kupp was supposed to just take off after that Triple Crown year. And quite frankly, since then, he hasn't had a year like that. And I trust Sean McVay. I know Sean McVay has an absolute eye for talent. He always has the Rams playing well and competing for the NFC West and making the playoffs even in years where people don't believe in the Rams. So the fact that him and his front office wants to move on from Cooper Kupp so bad that they're willing to take the $22 million cap hit speaks volumes and should tell you all you need to know about what happened to Cooper Kupp. I'm going to read you Cooper Kupp's stats since 2022. In 2022, he played in just 9 games, had 75 receptions for 812 yards and 6 touchdowns. In 2023, he played in 12 games, had 59 receptions and 737 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. In 2024, he had played in 12 games, had 67 receptions for 710 yards and 6 touchdowns. So since 2022, he hasn't had 1,000 yards. That's one. And he just hasn't had a year since 2021. Now, granted, no one's expecting him to put up 1,900 receiving yards again, but it's like, bro, since you had that year, you can't break a band at least? Like, come on. Now, look, I'm about to get a lot of backlash for what I'm gonna say, but I don't care because I'm gonna stand on it because this is how I truly feel. If you give Dyami Brown the same kind of targets that Cooper Kupp has been getting since 2022, I guarantee you he'll put up the same numbers that Cooper Kupp has been putting up since 2022. He's been putting up 700, 800 receiving yards along with 6 touchdowns, and I think Dyami Brown can give you that kind of status if you give him those opportunities. Now look, I obviously want better than Cooper Kupp and Dyami Brown, but my point is making that comparison is save the trade for somebody better than a Cooper Kupp. Don't waste your time trading for Cooper Kupp, who's aging, and you can get that kind of production out of a Dyami Brown on a much cheaper deal by just giving him better opportunities. Dyami Brown finally started to receive wide receiver 2 opportunities late into the season and into the postseason, and we seen what he was capable of. So I'm telling you that if you give Dyami Brown the full 17 game schedule with those Cooper Kupp kind of opportunities and receptions and targets, he'll put up similar numbers. Now let me make myself clear again so people don't get me misconfused or misconstrue my words or whatever may have you. I don't want Cooper Kupp as a wide receiver 2. I don't want Dyami Brown as a wide receiver 2. I'm just saying, if you're looking for that Cooper Kupp kind of production and that is your plan to address the wide receiver room, you're better off just staying with Dyami Brown, because I think he can give you much better opportunity and much similar production on a cheaper and a younger deal. Now your next question may be, well, Juan, who do you want if you don't want Cooper Kupp? In my opinion, if our route is to address the wide receiver room and upgrade this wide receiver room by going out and signing a free agent and getting a veteran across from Terry McLaurin, I would look at Chris Godwin. Did you guys know Chris Godwin has put up constant 1,000-yard seasons back-to-back? Stands for this season where he broke his ankle. That is the perfect number 2 alongside Terry McLaurin, if you ask me, if you're going the veteran free agent route. Chris Godwin is only 28. Yes, he's younger than Terry McLaurin, and he's been in the league since 2017. And a lot of people get it confused. They hear Chris Godwin's name and think he just this injury-prone kind of guy. You'll be surprised to find out that he damn near played in every single game. Every single season stands for 1 or 2 seasons. He's relatively healthy, so he's much more available than like a guy like of a Cooper Kupp nature. So if you're going the veteran route, I would prefer Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin has played in 16 games, 16 games, 14 games, 12 games, 14 games, 15 games, 17 games, and 7 games this year. Again, he got hurt and broke his ankle. Other than that, he would have most likely played in every single game this season. And in those seasons in which he played, he just has 3 seasons in in which he did not have 1,000 yards. Before the injury this year, he had 1,000 yards in 2023. He had 1,000 yards in 2022. He had 1,000 yards, 1,100 to be exact, in 2021. In 2019, he had 1,300 yards. So he's always being productive. And again, he's only 28. And I guarantee you, if he did not get hurt this year, he would have been on pace for 1,000 yards again. He had 576 yards through 7 weeks of football. So of course, while everybody wants T. Higgins and he's the main attraction if Cincinnati does not bring him back, I would look at a guy like Chris Godwin, and I've been beating the table for Chris Godwin since I saw the free agent class. You guys know who else I would want over Cooper Kupp? That's Stefon Diggs. Hear me out, because I know a lot of y'all are probably like, what, Juan? No, I don't want Stefon Diggs here. He's a diva. He does all this on, off the field drama. Listen to me when I say this. Stefon Diggs would be a much better veteran pickup than Cooper Kupp. He's 31 as well, but at least Steph Diggs' game translate well with age. Outside of this year, where he only played 8 games where he tore his ACL with Houston, he played in 17 games in 2023, 16 games in 2022, 17 games, 16 games, 15 games, 15 games, 14 games, 13 games, 13 games. So all of his career stands for this one season in which he sustained an injury. He's always available. And again, do I have to mention it? It's Stefon freaking Diggs. We know what he's capable of. Before tearing his ACL, he had nearly 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. In 2023, he had 1,100 yards with Buffalo. The year before that, he had 1,400 yards. The year before that, he had 1,200 yards. The year before that, he had 1,500 yards. And going back to his Minnesota days, he had 1,100 yards and 1,000 yards in 2018. Like, come on, bro. It's Stefon Diggs. So miss me with all the, oh, he's a diva comments, because I already can see them coming. I don't want him here. He doesn't fit the culture of a Commander. Look at me when I say this. You can't even see me, so what am I talking about? But he is 31 years old, on the last leg of his career. I'm sure all he wants to do is win a Super Bowl before he retires. What better way would it be to finish off your career at home, win a Super Bowl with the hometown team, and then not to mention, he just tore his ACL and he missed a chunk of the season. I'm sure he misses the hell out of football. So in my opinion, I think Stefon Diggs is to the point where he's chilling, and who cares if he cries for the football, bro? That's a part of the game. A lot of these superstar receivers cry for the football. That don't mean nothing, and JD5 wouldn't even get fazed by that if you ask me. So I say that to say I'm good off Cooper Kupp. There are better options out there. I'd take T. Higgins. I'd take a Garrett Wilson trade. I'd take a Chris Godwin signing. I'd take a Stefon Diggs signing before I even think about trading for Cooper Kupp. What says you out there in the comment section? Leave it down below. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers. I would greatly appreciate if you can reach that goal as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed one. Stay safe. Be easy out there. Peace.